Chief Sergeant Wilson. And this is my chief, Inspector Fry. We were admitted by Mrs. Calvert, one of the neighbours.
Doctor, here's the CID.
The doctor told us the dead man was a commercial traveller named George Winters.
What do you suspect, Doctor?
Cyanide in the chocolates. His wife saw it happen. He took a chocolate, and as soon as he had taken the bite, he collapsed and died off within a few seconds.
Where is Mrs. Winters?
She's had a very great shock. When I arrived, she was hysterical, so I've given her a sedative.
You know. Could I see her for a moment?
Well, just for a very short time, but you must think immediately if she becomes hysterical again. Inspector Fry would like to have a few words with you, Mrs. Winters. Try not to upset yourself.
It was me they were after. Someone was trying to murder me. Those chocolates were addressed to me. I know they were.
No, Mrs. Winters. It's quite all right. There's nothing to worry about at all.
I'm sorry to trouble you so soon, madam, but time is important. Now, will you tell us just what happened, in your own words?
She told us she had received the fatal chocolates by the first post on the previous Tuesday, which was her birthday. The parcel was addressed in a strange hand, a woman's, she thought, and bore a Salisbury postmark. Her husband had been in London at the time. He was away in town each week from Monday until Thursday, so she thought he had stopped at Salisbury and asked the confectioner to send them. They didn't know anyone in Salisbury. Normally, she would have eaten them right away, but fortunately for her, she had been business that week and hadn't opened them until that morning when Winters was leaving for the office. Then she said something that might have been the vital clue.
It must be someone who knows me well. The poison was in the Turkish delight, my favorite kind. They were George's favorites too. George, he's dead. I don't want to live without him. Let me die. I should be dead.
I think you'd better go, Inspector.
When the chocolates were analysed, we found that only the Turkish delight had been tampered with, and each of those had been injected by hypodermic syringe with a lethal dose of prussic acid. Another clue came from Winters' wallet. Moffat, Salisbury. Mrs. Winters could not identify us, so off we went to Salisbury to interview Moffat.
Have you heard that case?
Yes, I think so. The boarding house down the Yellowbone Road. Yes, Miss Susan Robinson, Springfield, Cromwell Avenue.
Thank you, it's most helpful of you. We soon found the boarding house. The inspector had brought with him a photograph of Mr. and Mrs. Winters, which he had taken from the house. We asked to see Miss Robinson.
She's in her room, sir. I'll tell her you're here.
Before you do that, have a look at this photograph and see if you can identify either of those two people.
I don't know the lady, sir, but the gentleman is Miss Robinson's brother.
Are you sure?
Of course I am. I see him regularly every Tuesday and Wednesday when he takes her out. Proper friendly they are, too. More like a couple of lovebirds than brother and sister, I always say.
Really? Would you ask her to see us now, please? A brother, eh?
Miss Robinson will see you in her room now. That's right. The door on the left.
Miss Robinson. Don't get up. We're police officers. We think you may be able to help us in some inquiries we're making. Can you identify either of the persons in this photograph?
No, I've never seen either of them before.
Come, Miss Robinson. I want the truth. We know this man used to come here. We're investigating his murder.
No, it's not true. I want to kill George.
So you did know him?
Then Miss Robinson told us she'd been meeting Winters for a couple of years. They had met when he called on her employer. An attachment had been formed, even though she knew him to be married. She knew he lived somewhere in the West Country, but didn't know his address. The inspector asked her to write it for him.
This is G. Winters, 14 London Road, Westall. An unusual instrument to find in a lady's bureau.
I'm a diabetic and I always keep a spare one handy for my injections.
I see. I'm afraid I must take this with me.
If that's all, Inspector, perhaps you'll leave now. I have an appointment.
There's nothing you'd like to tell us before we go?
Nothing.
Then I must ask you not to leave Salisbury without notifying the local police.
Good old Bob.